Hi, my name is Joyce White. I'm a food historian right here in Annapolis, Maryland, and I'm thrilled to be able to participate in the virtual history event through Historic Annapolis. It's a pleasure to be working with Historic Annapolis again, as I was their consultant for the restoration of their 18th century kitchen. So it's great to be collaborating with them once again. The first recipe is for gingerbread. This recipe comes from a circa 1773 British cookbook by John Townsend, and it contains molasses and brown muscovado sugar, as well as the spices mace, cloves, nutmeg, and of course ginger. But something surprising that's in this recipe is coriander seed and caraway seed. That may seem strange to us in the 21st century, but it was completely normal and expected in an 18th century baking recipe. So there were two different ways that you could finish the cookies. You could roll them thin and cut them out with different shapes, like hearts were very popular in the 18th century. Or you could take a mold and take a ball of the dough and press it onto the shape on the mold, and then you would have a beautiful design on top of your cookie. Gingerbread was so popular in the 18th century that they were even sold on the streets of London. The next recipe is for Shrewsbury cakes, or Shrewsbury cakes as they're sometimes pronounced. These were sold at the market fairs in Shrewsbury, which go back to 901 AD, although the earliest recipe for these cakes was from 1621. So this is interesting. In order to prevent the cakes from puffing up too much during baking, sometimes they were actually docked or pressed with a hair comb, and this is what an 18th century hair comb would look like. And once this was done, you would have a beautiful design on top of your small cake as well. The third recipe is for another small cake, actually called excellent small cakes, sometimes also called Barnet cakes, because they also were sold as fairings at the Barnet Fair, which is in Hertfordshire, north of London. And these cakes are known for having Zante currants, which are small raisins inside of them. And they have a flavor of white wine, and they are iced with a little royal icing sugar. Now, I don't know for sure if this is true, but one thing I read about these Barnet cakes is that they were the cakes that were baking on Pudding Lane in the 1660s that caused the Great London Fire. But that's just a fun story, and I don't know for sure if that's true. For more information and recipes, please visit my website at atasteofhistory.net.